Okay, lovely. Good evening. This is the first leadership call of 2018. I can't believe I'm saying 2018. Where's the year gone? So today's date is the 7th of February. And as this is our first leadership call, we've got a bit of a different format than what we had last year when we had our calls with Alan from the States. So what we're going to do always is have a little bit of product information first, which will be like our continued education. And then today we have Angela telling us a little bit about goals and visualizing. We're also going to have another team call in 2 weeks' time, and that's going to be with Ali, and she's going to talk about how to make things with essential oils, because she's our kind of make and take guru. So first of all, I'm going to kick off. I thought we're going to do continued education. We'll actually just start from the top. We'll start with A for Arbor Vitae. And we'll do a couple every team call, and we'll just do a couple of oils, and hopefully we'll get to know a little bit more about them. And also, if you use them in a different way, kind of let us know how you use them, so we can get some more ideas. So Arbor Vitae, we know that it's antibacterial, antifungal, it's calming, it's also been used to help fight cancer, and it's also an insect repellent as well. It's very grounding. It tends to be one that I get come up a lot on my iToby reader as well. And I've only recently bought the Arbor Vitae. It blends really well with birch and cedarwood and frankincense and Siberian fir. I tend to just use it in like meditate at the moment. I've just been using it a lot with meditation because it has that kind of lovely woody smell. Apparently the Arbor Vitae comes from Canada, and apparently the trees are absolutely huge. Like if you look up, you basically can't see where the top of the tree is. They're so massive. They had an incentive trip, doTerra did last year. I think it was about September time, and a few people went out there, and I saw some of the videos of where the trees were, and it just looked amazing. So yeah, that's Arbor Vitae. Has anyone used Arbor Vitae before? Have you got it, Florence? Angela? No. Oh, it's one I have to give you a sample of, because it is really good for meditation. You're going to be talking about that in a little bit. So yeah, if anyone else has any ideas of like how to use it, I'd love to know, because I'd love to use it a little bit more. And the second oil I'm going to talk about is basil. This is one I have used a little bit, but it's great for bee and hornet stings, also bronchitis, carpal tunnel, chronic fatigue, cramps, which I didn't know about, to use for that. Apparently it's good for the digestive system. Earache, which I have used it for with lavender and melaleuca, which is the tea tree. It's also good for frozen shoulder, greasy and oily hair. It's great to use for lactation, so if you want to increase your milk supply, you can use it for that. Mental fatigue, migraines, mouth ulcers, muscle spasms. Also, if you've lost your sense of smell, apparently basil's a really good one to help bring back the sense of smell. And also I've heard peppermint's good for that as well. Ovarian cysts, snake bites, because obviously we get a lot of snakes in the UK, so we have to be careful of those. Also good for when you're in your transition, when you're in labour and you're in the transition period. Apparently basil's really good for that as well. Also great for wounds. So I haven't been used. I've literally just used it kind of for earaches and in like spaghetti bolognese, literally like a toothpick amount. Tastes nice, and that you can add it to like salad dressings as well. People do it with that. It blends well with bergamot, lime, and peppermint. Apparently, it's great for nausea as well, which I didn't realise. So yeah, there's quite a few kind of different ways to use basil. I haven't actually been using it, so I'm going to try and use a little bit more this week and see how we get on, because it is quite a strong smell. It does remind me of like food and cooking. But yeah, the best way I've used it so far has been for earaches, and it's been amazing for that. So yeah, so that is Arbor Vitae and basil. So we'll do another two next time, and if you have any ideas of how to use those, I'd love to know a little bit more. So now I'm going to pass it over to Angela, and you're going to tell us all about goals and visualization and getting our best 2018. So I'm all ears, because I can't wait to get moving.
Okay, so I know that everybody is just totally different on these things. So if it blows your mind and you want to kind of go through it in a bit more detail or ask me any questions, and I'm happy to kind of do one-to-one conversations offline. Some of it is weird, and you may think that I'm a complete, utter bonkers weirdo for doing half the things that I do. And it's kind of pick out what you think, what suits you, what you feel comfortable with. And just go from there and build on that. So it's literally a stop tour of everything that I've kind of just done a bit of a brain dump, but tried to kind of do it in a kind of easy kind of sequence so it's not overloading, so you can start chipping away at things. So if you've not done any kind of I don't know, mindset, things like that before, a really, really good place to start is figuring out your why. Now, I did this at the very beginning of my doTerra journey and found it really, really super useful. I've got a piece of paper here, so if you see me looking down, it's because I'm just reading some notes. And it's literally just figuring out what your why is. What I really suggest, if you're at the very beginning of this and you haven't already seen it, is to look at the Simon Sinek YouTube video and understand why the why is so important. And he does a really, really succinct video about kind of why it's so important in business, for you as a person. So looking at examples like Apple, how they kind of position their why in the marketplace. And everybody's different. So although kind of we're all on this course, so we're all about the oils. So every business is different. But if we talk about doTerra oils, they sell themselves. They don't need much selling. They're really, really powerful products in themselves. But your why is so much more powerful than those oils. The stories that, you know, I tell about my personal experience, the stories that I tell that I've heard from other people, and my why. So I'm going to use myself as an example through kind of talking in terms of my why, is that I feel that doTerra has just changed my health and wellness of my family. I am really passionate about not putting you know, chemicals, just using Calpol and Nurofen just for, you know, because I've got nothing else. And I feel really passionate about that. And anyone that's kind of spoken to me about oils, I'm very passionate about it. Sometimes I harp on a bit too much, and you can see mums ducking away from me in the playground thinking, oh my God, my kid's got a snotty nose, she's going to oil me. But I'm not trying to be overbearing. I'm just very passionate about it. And one of my other things is that I always wanted to be a nursey type caring person, but with the nursing side of things, I can't do puke, poo, blood really very well. So I was never really going to be a nurse. I was never going to be cut out. So this gives me my nursing edge that I always wanted without actually having to do the nursing stuff. So I really like it when I give people samples and then they feed back and go, oh my God, that has just changed things for me. And that just makes me buzz. And that is my why. That just makes everything worthwhile. And I'll, you know, get John going, why do you just give all this stuff? Where's it? Because that's my why. And, you know, the rest of it will just come because I believe in it so much. So there's a lot of questions. There's a really, really good template that talks through what do you most want to reach within doTerra? What are you willing to do to accomplish your goals? What's your bigger vision for what you want to achieve with doTerra? What are your skills, your strengths, your gifts? What can you bring to the party? Why do you want to be a doTerra wellness advocate? And you're asking all those why questions to yourself and really kind of bringing it out of yourself. And then what you do is you go on to setting goals from your why. So so I'm earning so much a month. So what are your goals? How much do you need to be earning per month? What are you willing to give up to do those goals? So, you know, I've given up. I don't have as many friendship circles as I used to, because with my free time, I'm kind of focused on building the business. So I've given up, a few friendship circles. I've probably given up going out at the weekend. I do other things at the weekend to do with oils. I haven't stopped my life because of it, but I have sacrificed some things that I am determined to make it go as a business. Then looking at what might get in the way. So, you know, things like, I don't know, I might actually have to, I got a job that's going to get in the way, and how am I going to get around it? What else could get in the way of that? And who do you want to see you achieve this? Who's important in your kind of close circle, your tribe that I call it? Because your tribe is your vibe. The people that you mix with are going to be your tribe. So I surround myself people, like people on the call, Claire and Sally. They're positive people. They make me want to be that person that I want to be, rather than getting sucked into people who don't give you that vibe. And so surrounding yourself with the people that are in your tribe. And then when you think about reaching that goal, so if you say, you know, I want to be earning £2,000 a month through doTerra oils within the next 18 months, and how does that make you feel? Does that make you feel scared? Does it make you feel, and how does that make, is it a real thing? Is it not a real thing? And really kind of get that feeling going. Does it just make you buzz? And then you have to think about, is that genuinely possible? So you're not really setting yourself goals that you're not going to be able to achieve. You're really setting those goals that you are going to be able to achieve, and tweak them to make sure that they are. And it's one of these things about getting your head around anything is possible, and you are able to make anything happen if you really want that to happen, and you've got the right infrastructure to make it happen. When and how often will I check in? So I have got a few different check-ins for different things. So with my doTerra business, my 2 check-ins are Claire. I don't see Claire as any more and less of me, but I like her to be proud of me because she's my upline and think I'm doing well. And so Claire's a good check-in for me, and she buzzes when I'm doing well. She gives me a little prod when, what are you doing? And it is a little bit kind of, oh, I'm doing it, but thanks for the prod. And John's my other check-in, so my other half is my other check-in. I want him to see that it's not just a hobby, it's more than a hobby. And so I put a certain amount in a bank account every month that he can see going in there, and I want him to see that, because then he can see why I'm doing it as well. So, and then what's most important about setting all these goals and talking about whys is celebrating when you reach them. So making sure that you're putting things in place that you're going to celebrate, and it might just be something that you're going to buy yourself, some new shoes. I mean, shoes aren't my thing, so I don't know why I said that. But and my goals have been probably just when I've succeeded, I'm going to buy myself some more oils, or no. So when I've got so I'm doing the aroma touch, and that was something that I said, when I've got to where I want to be within 12 months, I'm going to do my aroma touch course, and I reward myself with weekends away with the girls, and I have things that I reward myself with, and I take a breather from the the everyday stuff. So that is a really, really good place to start in terms of setting goals, going through your why and why you do it. And as I say, there's a template, so email me, email Claire, and we can send you the template. It's full of questions, and it's a good, worthwhile, and it takes about probably an hour just to sit down and really look at them and really kind of be truthful to yourself to go through that. And I would revisit that kind of every year to 18 months just to tweak it and make sure you're still on track with that. So that would be my first thing to have a look at in terms of looking at your whys and goals. And then I would say, and this is probably another thing to do yearly, and whatever time of year, some people find the new year is the start of the school year, so September, so summer holidays is a really good time to do it. Some other people, obviously, the traditional New Year. I find it a really good time to do the traditional New Year, so I've just done mine, and that is the power of visualization. Super, super powerful. So an example would be promising a child a treat after their dinner. So you say, eat all your dinner and you can have a pudding. And they keep saying it and they keep saying it, and they're still not eating their dinner, they're still on their dinner. If you put that treat in front of them so they can actually see it, see how fast that they eat their dinner, because they can see that visualization. And it's like that with everything. We're programmed that if we see it, then we start believing it. So if you've got you want that house in the country, go into the estate agents in Hale or wherever and go and find a picture of your house and put it on your fridge, and that will be one day your house. If you start seeing it, you start believing it. And it's just these little things that help you believe what your path's going to be. If you want to fit into a size, put that dress, put the picture of that dress that you want to get into and put it on the fridge so you can see it, you can start believing it. And it does work. And this is where I say things that kind of going, really? Does that work? It does work if you look at the board. If you do your vision board and you put it somewhere that you're never going to see, it's not going to work. It's the same with the oils. If you buy them and you don't use them, they're not going to work. But if you put the vision board somewhere that you're going to see it every day, and I heard somebody say they put it on their toilet wall, so that when they're sat on the toilet, they're looking at their vision board. Mine's up where I make brews, so when I'm making my brew, I'm having a look at my vision board, and it's actually out of the way of people, randoms coming in the house. I don't think I'm totally nuts straight away. So I have it there. So talking about vision boards, how to start. So you can go, God, I want to do a vision board, but where do I start? So the first place to start is to think about the most important areas of your life, and maybe start off and pick 5. You can't be everything to everything. So you can't be the best friend, the best wife, the best mum, the best business person, have the most friends, have the tidiest house. You can't be everything, it's just not going to work. So pick maybe 5 focuses within your life that you want to focus on. And think, family, home, work, holidays, friends, money, relationships, fitness, whatever it may be. And maybe pick 5 things that you want to focus on that are going to be the most important. So take those 5 things and then think about how you want to feel in those individual things. So think about career. So for example, use words as proud, passionate, successful, the best, and how do you want to feel within that? If you think about your relationship's important, and you feel as though that's something that you want to focus on. Is it passionate? Is it sexy? Is it how do you want to feel? And a lot of mine is I want to increase my fitness. I really want to be the person that I want to be with regard to fitness. I want to be that person that runs 3 times a week. I want to be that person that doesn't get out of breath. And it goes up and down, but when I've kind of got my vision board and when I've got all these activities going on, it's seamless, absolutely seamless. But things for running for me is I want to feel alive. I feel that aliveness. And so start off with the feelings rather than the pictures. So how do you want to feel? And then get yourself onto Google and start looking for your images and putting the keywords in. So women running, passionate, and you'll start seeing these images, and search out the images that are really, really pertinent to you. And these will become your vision board. And what I do is I look for these images and I save them. So I get a list of things that I want to find. And then I go onto Google, I find my images. You can also use Pinterest and things like that to find your images. It doesn't have to be Google, but I like Google. And find my images. And then I store them in a folder. And then I get a little app on my phone, print them for 6 pence each or something like that. And then they come printed. So I'm not printing them out and wasting all my own printing. And they're obviously a lot nicer as well. So then I get them through the post. And I've done this for a few years running. The first year I did it with my daughter, and I told her to do the same thing. I said, right, let's list. If you can have anything in the world, what would it be? So she wrote down her list, and it was things like she wanted to do horse riding, she wanted to be able to ride a bike, she wanted to be in a dancing contest, she wanted a desk in her bedroom, she wanted different things, she wanted to go to a holiday water park. So we found all these pictures, and as the year went on, we weren't deliberately ticking this list off. But then she'd go, oh my God, look at my desk, Mum. It's exactly like the one that's on my board. I'm like, oh my God, it is. And just that, it sounds bizarre. It just sounds bizarre, but it actually just really, really works in terms of having that visualization. I will give you a little...
It's subconscious, isn't it? You just...
Yeah, it's just program. Yeah, it is absolutely subconscious. So this is my brand new vision board. I'll give you a little look at that. It looks very busy, but it makes me excited. These are my colourful people that I'm going to start surrounding myself with. This is obviously my doTerra stuff. So this is kind of where I want to be rank-wise, which is equal to the financial rewards. But then long-term, this is what I want to be going and doing back into the countries where they source the oils from. And you can see on the pictures that I've written it's probably a bit wrong way around. Let's see what I've done. It's probably, that's Lapland. We're going to be going to Lapland. My time, quality time, my healthy eating. This is my loft conversion. We're going to get married, and like things like that. Me and John. That is actually me and John. But romance, love, and there's my dogs that I'm going to be getting. And this, I want to be relaxed. I want to be calm. I want to feel alive when I'm running. There's loads of stuff, and so I look at that every single day. And guess what? John made one this week.
No.
I know. Off his own bat. Absolutely amazing. I think he just sees me being super awesome and just goes, I'm going to have some of that. How does she do it? I'm only joking. So I think, your yearly things are your whys, your goals, and your vision board. And that's a really, really good place to start. So if you thought that was nuts, then this is the really nuts bit. There are 5 things that you should be doing on a daily basis to really feed yourself. And do I practice what I preach? Probably not, but I know I am a different person when I am doing this than when I'm not. And the difference is just outstanding. So I don't do it all the time, just basically because it's like a big pile of ironing. It's such a pain in the ass to go and start it, so it just keeps playing with it. But once you've started, you're into it, and it's kind of you're doing it. So there's the 5 things: exercise, learning, meditation, affirmations, and gratitude. So exercise speaks for itself. It's like, so everyone's got their own different exercise that they do. So my thing is running. A lot of people have yoga, Pilates, kickboxing classes, whatever floats your boat. It might just be a walk. But mine is running, and I feel when I'm running, it just going, and just that kind of pent up day-to-day life stuff just oozing out of me. And it's just such a mental release as well. So exercise, choose your own exercise. Learning is really, really important. So for learning, I would probably do the one drop video. What are they called? doTerra one drop things? What are they called?
Daily drop.
Daily drop, that's it. So I'll do either a daily drop, or if I've got time, I'll do a proper YouTube video to do with oils, because that's kind of where I am with learning. But sometimes it will just be reading self-help books. What are they called? No, not self-help. Development books. Then meditation is your 3rd one. And meditation, I absolutely thought it was so off the wall when I first said it. Meditation, so you sit there in silence and try and free your brain. I've got a busy brain. It's never going to happen, and I'm quite happy with my busy brain. But it's seriously a big, big key, a big, big secret. If you have never tried meditation before and you want to give it a go, you only need to do it 10 minutes a day. I'm just looking here to see if I can show you the app that I use. It's one called Headspace. So it's down there, a little white box with an orange circle, and it's called Headspace. And it gives you, I think it's a month or something for free of 10 minutes every day. And it talks you through what you should be doing. Now, I did that and I found it really useful, because I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing. Do I just sit there in silence? What do I do? So it's a really, really good way to start in terms of telling you what you should be doing. And I didn't sign up to Headspace only because I quite like not being talked to while I'm meditating. So I sit there in silence in a really, really comfy position, and I just focus on my breathing. I'll kind of swoosh down my body and swoosh back up, and just have this in with positivity, out with negativity type of thing, and whatever I feel. And it literally 10 minutes a day, and I feel amazing. And as I say, it's something that I don't do every day, but I notice a huge, huge difference when I do. Now, affirmations. Oh, what's this? Try and limit it. Sorry. So affirmations are and I'll tell you. Am I all right for time, by the way, Claire?
Yeah, you got about 10 minutes.
Okay. So affirmations are something that I learned about when I was in a really, really low point in my life, and I struggled to leave the house just because of what people would think about me. I lost a lot of weight, and people I hadn't seen for a long time were going, "Oh my God, are you seriously dying? You look absolutely awful." So I had a lot of pent up anxiety in me, and we were going to visit a friend that we'd not seen for years. Me and my best friend, we were going to see a friend in London, and it took her an hour to get me out of the house, and I just said, I can't go, and I was crying, and I was breathing, and I was all over this place. So anyway, she got me into the car. We got down to London. I put my brave face on. I went, everything's wonderful when I got there. And then we went out for dinner, had a few drinks, and I sat next to this friend, and I just went, I was so nervous about coming because I just thought you'd think that I'd look awful. And he really kind of took me in hand. He said, okay. He said, when you go home, he said, look yourself in the eye. I might cry at this, but he said, look yourself in the eye and say, I am beautiful. And the moment he said it, I cried. I was like, there's no way that I can do that. And I got home, and he said, look yourself in the eye. He said, whether you're brushing your teeth, and just say, I love you. I love you. That's what he told me to say. So I got home, and I couldn't do it. And it took me a week to actually look myself in the eye and go, I love you. And everybody says, how can anybody else love you if you don't love yourself? So I really didn't love myself. And it took me a long time. And I broke down that barrier, and eventually I began to say it. I began to say a lot more of the other affirmations. And that's all affirmations are reaffirming to yourself what you should believe about yourself. So if I said 10 things to you, 9 of those were really positive things about you, how amazing you are, how wonderful you are, and one of them was pretty not kind or nasty. You would remember that one thing. Okay. And so it is just reprogramming your mind to say, so I have affirmations now to do with love. So I obviously told you how I got into the love story about how I need to love myself. And I'll say things like, I am a really nice person. I am awesome. I am a really nice person. Not because I need anybody else to see it. It's because I need to believe that myself. And if you say that to yourself and look yourself in the mirror when you're doing it and say it louder and louder and more confidently. And I do it. I've got a little, if you've been to my house, I've got a little shed, and I do it in there. And I'm not going to be embarrassed. It's just me. It's just me who I'm saying it to. I have ones about money. So I'll say, I deserve financial freedom. I deserve this money. I am going to do this. I'm going to, and if you need any help with kind of what to say or anything like that, I've got reams of them. I've researched them off the internet and found ones that I'm comfortable with. So look at the information. So if you've got something like, do you know what? I've got a really, really mental block with money. If you Google affirmations money, it'll come up with stuff, and pick the ones. Some of them are a bit way out, even more way out than I'm talking. But you just pick the ones that you want that feel comfortable for you to say. But if you've not done it before, the I love you one is really, really powerful. So that's a really good place to start to get into affirmations. And then the last of the 5 things is gratitude. So being grateful for things. And then again, this is really, really powerful and takes a lot of the victim mentality that we sometimes get drawn into, things like somebody gets a parking space. Oh, that's the kind of day that I'm having. Everybody's get out to get me. They've got this parking space before me, and and you're blaming everybody for things that are affecting you. And gratitude, what gratitude does is really kind of open your eyes to what's really good about life. So it can be anything, and I do things like it could be walking to school in the morning, and I'll just take a moment and go, oh my goodness, I have been shouting this morning, but how nice is this just to be able to walk to school with my children and just breathe and just have them there laughing and all that kind of stuff. And it sounds proper cheesy, or a bird that just catches your eye and you go, oh my God, how lovely is that? And obviously then it goes on to gratitude, that I'm grateful for John I'm grateful for John giving me the freedom to actually do what I do. He's got the go to work proper job, and if I didn't have that, then I wouldn't have the opportunities that I have. So it's really thinking about being grateful. I'm grateful for the kids' personalities, and I focus on, so say for example, if I'm really having a tricky time with one of the kids, and I'm struggling with where they are with what they're doing, I will focus on the good things rather than trying to fix the bad things, and being grateful for their little personalities and them learning things. And it's a tricky one to explain, but that gratitude is thing, and it's quite nice to have a journal to write your gratitudes in. So if all that resonates with you, a step further to have a look at would be googling my miracle morning, and this stems from, I'm nearly done, Claire. This stems from a guy who had a serious road traffic accident in America, and he nearly lost his life. He didn't lose his life, so he decided to live every day like it was his last. And he set up businesses, and he found that his businesses weren't working, so he phoned it's a long story, but he phoned his really successful entrepreneurial friend, and he said, look, I'm trying my hardest, and that I've got this new life, and I want to be the best that I possibly can. And he went, well, how are you starting your day? And he said, well, I just kind of get up and I do everything as fast as I can, and I'm really eager about doing it. And he said, okay, you need to start your day with these three things: exercise, learning, meditation, affirmations, and gratitude. So what we've just talked about. So if you spent half an hour in the morning before you do anything at all. So here's what I kind of adapted it to my own thing. So Google it, learn about it, and then this is what I used to do. I would get out of bed, and I would run for 10 minutes. I would watch a little learning thing for probably 2 minutes. I would meditate for 10 minutes. I would do my affirmations for 5 minutes, and I'd just journal what I was grateful for. And oh my God, I felt like an absolutely brand new person. And what I'd done by doing that first thing in the morning, I gave to myself before I gave anybody anything else. So from that point on, the kids can have what they want, John can have what they want, work can have what they want. And I would you can have it wrong because I've already given to me. I've kind of got my stuff done in the morning. And that, honestly, if you try it for a week and just see what the difference is. And like I said at the beginning, I don't practice all the time what I preach, but I notice the difference when I do these things. So I was going to move on to probably looking at the activity, but I think I've waffled on enough about different stuff.
2 minutes.
Right. I think I'll just show you this very, very quickly. I'm going to just share the screen. So I've got a tendency to get sucked into Facebook and go, oh shit, then my day's gone, and then go, I wish I'd done all these things for my own business and this, that, and the other. So I put together this Excel spreadsheet, and I'm happy to go through this on a one-to-one with people or send it a blank file quickly. So up here it needs a bit more development in terms of my whys and things like that. I'm putting that on the spreadsheet. Then I put here my SMART personal goals. So for example, I want to have a weekly cleaner. I've got a bi-weekly cleaner. So I put a date in. By June 2018, I will have a weekly cleaner. But my business needs to earn £1,000 a month to make this viable. So I've got actual figures, facts, dates, when it's going to happen and things like that. Then my SMART work goals. So these are personal, these are work. So when I want to reach elite, and how many builders I want to be doing and all that kind of stuff. And then what I've done here is all the activity that I do. So down the left-hand column, this is all the activity. So Facebook updates, watching videos, follow-ups with people, meeting people, sending magazines, giving people bracelets. So they're all the activities that I do. And that's the detail, how I'm going to do it, when I'm going to do it, and then I plan it on a weekly basis. So I've just got to the end of this 3-month plan now, so I need to redo it. And then here I've got it set out in months about the activity that I'm going to do, which is up there, and then my goals. So this goes down to what rank I want to be at, and I'll put in the actuals, and then down here is money. So